cracking the code also correlates into Facebook ads. Having a formula that you can stick to with every single product launch.
Yes.
That you could trust that 1 in 20 using this Facebook strategy, you would know if that product is a winner. That's also key. Hey guys, what's up? In this video, we'll be talking in depth about product research, especially if you're a beginner, and how to go ahead and find products that you can actually scale to 6 figures. And we'll talk about the importance of finding your own winning product, how to go ahead and do that, how to build the eye when it comes to finding winning products. And if you watch to the very end, we actually go ahead and reveal beginner strategies that you can use today to get started when it comes to finding your own winning products. Before we get into the interview, let's announce last video's winners for $1,000 worth of courses or consulting course with me. The winner's here. If you guys want to qualify, all you have to do is drop a comment below, like this video, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and follow me on Instagram, and I'll be picking the best comment every single video. Other than that, you guys are gonna love this video. This is a segment from Maurice's interview with me. If you want to watch the whole interview, it's going to be linked in the description below. Definitely check out his channel, but here's a portion where we talk about product research.
You've been saying this one thing that I want to really dive into as deep as you'd like to go, which is crack the code. What was it like for you to be advertising before you crack the code? And then like what does cracking the code mean to you? I guess I'm trying to say this without, like, I guess you could basically give away as much information as you want when it comes to cracking the code. Like, was it for you the product research and picking the right product? And if it was, like, you know, if you can possibly go deeper than what most other people say, which is the obvious stuff where you have to find a product that solves a problem, and you have to find a product in a passionate niche, and it has to have a $30 profit margin. Like, all of that stuff is standard, but like, how do you take that information and apply it to actually cracking the code of being able to find a winning product 1 out of every 5 or 10 or 20 or whatever your number is?
The code always changes. So like a year and a half ago, my whole sort of philosophy was getting a piece of the pie and jumping on products that are just about to pop off.
Yeah.
And literally I would go on volume. I would go on Facebook ads, I'll have ad turbo, and I'll look at every new ad. I saved a bunch of different pages, so I was following what all the top sort of advertisers would advertise, and obviously 1 out of their 5 videos would get much more views, much more comments, and I'll jump on that product. And I was literally just like on every single product, and I was testing 5 products a day. And that was the first sort of code I cracked. I created a system where I was continuously able to find 5 potential hot products that was statistically proven by these other advertisers, and I'll jump on them all, and then I'll do that every single day, and maybe 1 in like 35 products would pop off. So I'll get like a small, medium winner at least every single week, and I'll probably get a big winner probably once every 1 or 2 months. And that was sort of the first code I cracked.
Yeah.
And then moving into sort of 2019, that strategy isn't viable anymore. Just because when someone scales out a product, they got too much of a hold on the product, and you can't really get a piece of the pie, and it's not even worth your time just because it's just so expensive to get a piece of that pie now. So the formula now I preach is finding your own winners. What I feel like I'm so deep into the finding your own product, finding your own winners, finding new products sort of field that I can't really see what everyone else is doing, but my gut feeling tells me that 99% of people, or a large majority of people, are still going on Facebook and copying other people's products, going on these sort of hot, you know, Ecom Hunt, Dropship Spy sort of websites and testing other current winners, going AliExpress, sorting by most orders. Like, I feel like a large majority of people are still doing that, and that's sort of like a guaranteed way to not succeed. And actually finding your own winners, and what I do is I just go on AliExpress, I go through different categories, I go through the homepage, I go through the flash sales, and I just look for new products that catch my eye, and then I test those products. And then when you do that and you're testing brand new products, given that I've sort of seen hundreds, my rate would be maybe 1 in 20 at max. And then I just go off volume. I'll just have to test 20 products as fast as possible. And then cracking the code also correlates into Facebook ads. Having a formula that you can stick to with every single product launch.
Yes.
That you could trust that 1 in 20 using this Facebook strategy, you would know if that product is a winner. That's also key. And that's something that just, I took bits from everywhere and I combined it and I created my own strategy where I sort of launched worldwide ad sets, US ad sets, EU, and then I have a bunch of single interests. I test like around 6 ad sets at $5 to $10 each, and I let them run to probably, if you're on a budget, you want to let it only run for 3 days and then kill it just because you're on a budget. But if you have a budget, it gives you a huge advantage, because I've realized that once I let ad sets run for 4 or 5 days, let them run probably twice break even point, if they have good statistics, Facebook actually optimizes.
Those statistics are lower than $1 CPC and lower than like $15 CPMs, right?
Exactly.
Okay, yeah.
Facebook actually optimizes. All the top people are running literally $20 ad sets and they're letting it run for 4 days. That's $80 for one ad set, and they probably have 10. I'm not at that baller stage yet, but I'm doing it on a smaller scale. But if the top people are doing it, there's a reason why. Yeah,
I've heard little hints here and there from other people that a lot of the people that have a large amount of cash flow, and because that's kind of my situation right now, is that my business partner found a product that was the most universal super crusher product in the entire universe. I'll just say that my business partner is the one that found the posture corrector. So there's just so much money that it's absolutely ridiculous. But at the same time, it is very important for people to know, because I fell into this trap when I started to try to get back into Facebook ads, because I was like, oh, I know what I'm doing, is that you have to have a scaling strategy. You have to have something that you could write down and give to somebody and be like, this is what I do. Follow this as if it's like some type of computer programming code, to where if you followed it, it just makes sense. There's no holes in it. There's no nothing, because then when you get to that point, I've been there before. You have like, okay, I created this ad set and this, and then I duplicated that, and then how much am I spending here, and then I have this, and it just looks, I'm sure you work with students, you just look at their ad account and it just looks like a tornado went through, and it's just like, what is all of this? There's no cohesiveness. It doesn't look like an art, right? It doesn't look like this person knows what they're doing when it comes to scaling. But the good news is that you just have to come up with a logical plan, because I think you've said it, but if not, everybody scales differently. Some people duplicate, some people just increase the budget, some people use CBOs, some people use manual bids, some people do all of these, some people wait till 1,000 events in order to create a lookalike, some people wait till 100. It doesn't really necessarily matter too much. You just have to have some type of strategy that you are going to follow. And you can get that, obviously, you can get that strategy in courses or coaches or online by watching YouTube videos. But no matter how you get it, you have to have that strategy. That's like, I was going to say that's number one, but I feel like number one is a yin and a yang, because on top of that, if you don't have a winning product to put into that strategy, that does you no good. But then if you have this strategy and you have no winning product, that also does you no good. So, but I will say that the one thing that is the hardest thing to figure out through YouTube videos or just by yourself is to crack the code of how to look on AliExpress, because everybody could do what you just said, but not everybody has that eye to look at the product and be like, yes, this is worth testing. Because if you took these brand new people and gave them the metrics of has to solve a product in a passionate niche, blah, 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 has to have this profit, they might pick something and then it's just like there's no way that's going to work, whereas you take those criteria and you're just like you're like a shark that smells blood. You're just like, oh yeah, it's right here. So is there any tips that you can give to being able to develop, or how you developed that eye to be able to catch a winning product 1 out of every 20 or 30 or whatever, or 1 out of maximum every 20? And we're talking about brand new, never really hit the market, and if it did, it didn't hit it that hard.
Got it. So my biggest recommendation, probably like route number 1, if you're doing it on your own, just get started and test products. And after products fail after fail, you'll start learning what not to test. Like my first 70 products, like I went back and looked at the products I was testing and they were trash. I was testing like sport pants, sport compression pants. I was testing like V-neck shirts. I was testing like necklaces with the kunai from Naruto. Like it was just all these trashy products. And after testing 300 plus products, am I able to develop that eye? So if you're getting started and you're doing this on your own, 1, you need to have a budget to test a lot of products and just learn from your mistakes and improve with each product launch. 2, every time you launch a product, you want to look at the stats and really take note of what worked, what didn't work. Were the cost per clicks very high? That means the product doesn't have much sort of wow factor, it doesn't have much of a need. If the add to carts are very expensive, that means your price is too high, it doesn't have a good enough profit margin, it doesn't have a high enough perceived value. And then if you're not getting purchases, then it's just not a strong enough factor of those 2 things I just mentioned. So really read your stats, and with each product launch, try to improve and make it better. And my 3rd thing is, what I recommend you to do is just look at what other people test. Like see what's popping off on Facebook and just surround yourself with winning products. And winning products, you can find them on spy sites, you can find them on Facebook where you search free shipping and find all these drop shipping products with 1 million plus views. Surround yourself with current winning products, and that helps you build your eye. So those 3 things. Or you could subscribe to my YouTube channel. I put up a lot of winning products. You could check me out there.
Exactly. So one of the things that I've been moving towards when I'm making these videos is I learned it from Jordan Welch. Do you know who Jordan Welch is?
Yes.
He's a YouTuber. So he's the only one, because I have probably watched more YouTube videos than anybody on the planet about dropshipping. And he was the only one that ever mentioned the fact that it's like when you're looking at products, if you see something that's hot in the market, what you should do is you should go to AliExpress and try to find a product that is similar but are the same but slightly different, or it solves the same exact problem but it's different. Or you could find a product that basically is in the same niche and kind of solves the same problem but is different. And then you take that and you test it, because then you could put your own new little angle on it, you could put your own little spin on it. And also too, it's nobody is marketing that thing. So let's take, for example, I just did a video of I'm sure if you've been on the internet or use any ad spy tools, you've seen that Santa that like climbs up and down the ladder. So I just did a video on that. On my comma feed, everybody was adding that product to their store. So what I told people in that video is that, okay, there's no way you guys are going to come in here and sell this product, because I'm not even joking. All of the big players are adding this. I'm talking about, there has to have been at least 80 stores that added this product to it. But what you can do is maybe if you could find a Santa Claus that like repels from the tree or something like that, or goes up and down some type of candy cane pole or something like that, that is kind of similar to that product, and you know that type of product was selling pretty hot. So it's like you could probably have a better chance of testing that and getting results than trying to like you said, tap into that market that everybody else and their mother is going into. So that's one of the suggestions that I give people when I'm talking to them. Do you have any other suggestions for if they see a product that's hot and it's winning? What do they do with that information? What type of suggestion would you have? Like, okay, I found this product that's got millions of views, tons of likes. Now what?
Yeah, your tip is very good, and what Jordan Walsh does, that's like an insanely smart way of really differentiating yourself, as well as testing a product based on statistics. So this product works, it's popped off. You're going to go ahead and differentiate yourself from the market by looking for something different but similar. So that's probably I probably would say the exact same thing.
And then when it comes to what would be your tips for strengthening your ability to pick new products when you're just on AliExpress rummaging around, like you said, and you're just looking? You have no references to what was hot or what wasn't hot or whatever the case may be, especially if you're looking in the order of new. What kind of tips do you have, if any, for people when it comes to being able to get more efficient at picking good products that way? Because you don't have any references, you're just in there looking.
Exactly. So besides those 3 tips that I gave you guys that are beginners when it comes to product research, on top of that, I think it's exactly as you said, those 3 sort of criteria you need that everyone talks about on YouTube. It's true.
Yep.
You need a product that solves a problem. You need a product that has wow factor. And you need something that people just can't get at Amazon or their local Walmart.
Yes.
And that 3 criteria is definitely something you could use to start with. And you should combine that in conjunction with the 3 initial tips I mentioned earlier.
Yeah, one of the things that I've recently been really trying to hone in on is you have to also make sure that whatever images that you're using, not have to, but in order to differentiate yourself, you really want to try to pick products that have a high perceived value. And on top of that, the supplier, or you can go and find high quality images, because when people are looking at your website, if it's a piece of crap image, like literally pixelated and all this other stuff, they can't clearly see. And they're also going to see the product that they would be getting because they can't physically touch it. And on top of that, they're going to view that product as lower value just because of the quality of the picture. So definitely do your best to search for different suppliers, different images on Google to try to find really high quality images for your landing page. At least that's one of my suggestions. And also too, really, at least for me, really try to make sure that you can sell the product for at least a minimum of a $20 profit margin, or you have to figure out a way, if it's going to be less than that, and how to keep your average order value high. Because there's a lot of people out there, which I still to this day have no idea how they're selling these like $8, $10 products on their store. And it's just like, how are you even doing this? This doesn't make any sense unless their shipping is like $15. I don't get it. So those are some other tips that I would give to people as far as when they're searching on their own for these products.
I think that's about it. I think when it comes to product research, it's just all about just starting. If you are a brand new beginner, you just want to get started, you want to test products, and you don't want to expect each product to be a winner. You just want to test to learn and take every product launch as even if it doesn't pop off and it doesn't succeed, don't take it as a failure, take it as a win, because that's one less product now you have to test.
Yes, that is very, very true. And learning how to crack that code, like he said, and I'll have to admit as well, it's not easy. It's very frustrating. It's possibly difficult. That's why I think also one of the most important things that you could do is networking and chatting with other people that have had some success here and there, or who are obviously not beginners and they kind of know what they're doing, and just have conversations with these people about what it is that they're learning in order to help fill in some of the gaps between. Because I personally think with anything that anybody ever does at any time in their life, if you're going to be a beginner or you've tried a couple of times, try to get and this is not a sales pitch. I don't even give a shit if you go with me or not, or go with Andy. I mean, I hope you guys would pick one of us, but I would say if you're a very beginner, go with a coach that you trust, that can kind of lead you down this path, because like you said, and like we're talking about, we've already been through like a million mistakes. A million. And especially if you've worked with other students, you know what most students go through with their beginning problems. So you can kind of guide them through that. And then that way you don't have to actually go out there and take all those bumps yourself. You can kind of get that guidance. Because think about, like, I don't know, LeBron James or Michael Jordan, or LeBron James, for example. Basketball player, super famous, in case you don't know who he is. One of the best basketball players in the entire world. He has a son. And so his son, at the very beginning of his life, is learning from one of the best basketball players in the history of the world. His son is going to be amazing, because his dad is going to be able to teach him all of this crazy ass knowledge. Or think about Kobe Bryant, if he had boys. I think his girls might play basketball. They're learning from him. So if you have the budget to do it, pick a mentor that you trust, like we talked about earlier, using the criteria we said. And work with them in the very beginning, so you don't so you can be guided through the process and develop good habits from the beginning. Because I'll tell you one thing, dude, bad habits will kill you more than a bad product would. If you develop bad habits because of the that you're watching on YouTube, or you just think this or that, it's going to be very, very difficult to get out of that. And I wish for myself that I would have actually done that, work with a mentor, instead of just spending tons and tons and tons of money and just failing over and over and over again and having no idea why I was failing. Versus just working with a mentor, that they could just guide you from the beginning, and then afterwards you'll be able to find winning products and be successful faster than if you were to try. Because I think about it, if you're to do it on your own, you're basically trying to reinvent a wheel that's already invented. Whereas you could just go to somebody and be like, hey, you invented a wheel, can you teach me how to do it? And again, it's not a coaching pitch. This is just, if you read any entrepreneur book or leadership book, that's the main subject that they all talk about, is get a mentor, get a mentor, get a mentor, network and get a mentor, and talk to people in your field.
And I'm going to reiterate on what you said. Like, I highly recommend exactly what you said. Like, looking back, the amount of money I put into testing, that could have just went into a mentor, and my learning curve could have went from 6 months down to 1 month. So like, in the end, it sort of adds up the same. And the type of person to really figure it out on your own, you have to be like pretty crazy. Like someone like you or me, to have failed again and again and again and keep going, you have to be pretty crazy to be someone like that. And I think most people are more geared to going to school, learning from someone and following a proven blueprint, and that's going to be much easier. And then that's why, what I'm doing right now is just learning from the best, reinvesting and just learning, reading, going through courses, and I'm reinvesting in myself. And that's like me figuring out everything that I want to figure out on my own is going to be nearly impossible. And it's only going to get harder and harder, and you just have to learn from the best.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that really killed me is I was watching these people, Yes Theory, on YouTube, and they were talking to Will Smith. And Will Smith, we're talking about here. Will Smith has an acting coach. Why the does Will Smith have an acting coach? You know what I'm saying? Or like some of the top football players, American football players out here, they have coaches. They have these quarterbacks have like quarterback coaches, and we're talking about people that are getting paid millions of dollars a year to play this game at such a high level. They have coaches. Even like Gary Vee, he probably has mentors and coaches and stuff like that, So it doesn't matter what level you get to, you always want to have at least peers or mentors that can kind of help you out with that. So,
and that's the video. Hope you guys found value. We literally dropped everything. I gave you guys my whole strategy. Maurice really drills me and questions me and says, how do you go ahead and do this if you're just a complete beginner? So I highly recommend beginners to watch this video because I answer all those questions and I give you a basic blueprint on how you could go ahead and succeed with finding your own winning products, even if you're a straight up beginner, and how to build that eye. Question of the day: what's your current product research method? Drop that in comments below. I want to hear your replies. Other than that, thank you so much for watching and investing your time into watching this long video. I really appreciate your time, and hopefully I'll be able to see you tomorrow where I'm going to give you more golden nuggets. Peace.